Hi, welcome back to the channel, guys. It's me, Brendan, and today I have another esteemed guest with me. It's Marcelo, the niche fragrance collector. And before I bring you in, mate, I just want to say to everybody, you definitely want to subscribe to Marcelo's channel if you're into fragrances, because I found a lot of kinship and inspiration from Marcelo's channel as I was getting into fragrances and niche fragrances. And I think like as you geek out on things, you sort of drill deeper to find more inspiration and more like-minded people. So much so that I actually went to Milan earlier this year, caught up with Marcelo in person on his VIP tour experience, which I have to say was brilliant. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, thank you, buddy, for your help on my journey, and welcome to the channel. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always fun when about the nerd in all of us, basically. It's always
Yeah,
fun when you connect the person who's writing to you. You're like, I really like this episode, or I like this fragrance, and you start a conversation. And then I get to the point where it's somebody's handle, 117, I'm a top guy. And
yes,
so I always send a message, you go, hey, 117, I'm a top guy. Do you mind if
yeah,
I know your name? And I think I
yeah,
did that with you. And you said, yeah,
yes,
my name's Brent. And
yeah,
we start then I like a conversation with a real human, or
yes,
even though it's via comments on YouTube, but you
yeah,
begin to create a friendship over time. So
yeah. So,
yeah, and then you joined us in Milan for the tour and got to
yeah.
see who you are and meet in person, and that's part of the joy of this medium, I think, that you can connect
It's
with other like-minded people.
Yeah, it was great. I really loved that day, and I was I was reflecting on it, and I have done a few times since. I don't think any other platform other than YouTube could have brought
Yeah.
that sort of, and I say this friendly to everybody on the tour that's listening, because I'm one of you as well. That many nerds together from all corners of the globe, connected with this passion. I don't think there's anything other than YouTube that can facilitate that, right?
Well, not so quickly, and I think that's the beauty of it.
Yes.
I always see that the comments are like pen pals. So this old school where you would and I used to do it as a kid. So you would write a letter to a person somewhere in the world, and you
Mm.
became pen pal.
Yes.
And it's the same sort of, and then as you were, for me, I remember that you start to find similarities. Oh, I like playing this game. Or I love watching this
Yes.
TV show. And then, so in here, YouTube has allowed to bring us together and say, if you like this, then here are like-minded individuals who are like you. And now
Mm.
you can begin to have basically you're creating a tribe.
Yeah.
You're finding your people and yeah, and connecting with them, which is pretty cool.
It is. It's a beautiful thing. And so if people go to your channel, they're going to see a really established YouTube channel, 100 plus thousand subscribers. But tell us about the journey. Where did it begin? You started with zero subscribers at some point. What was the inspiration and what was your sort of journey into fragrances, if you like?
Right. Okay. So there's a few questions in there. Actually,
Mm.
why did you start your journey into what you're doing? I'm gonna flip it. I'm
Flip
gonna
the
put it on you. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I'd sort of been intrigued with YouTube and I've been consuming it. I've been a consumer of the platform. And I made 2025. I started my channel in January 2025. And I sat down over Christmas and did my kind of goals and all the coach in me came out. I was like, 2025 is going to be a year of leaning into my passions. And I often find that when I share my passions, when I feel like I'm contributing, I am much more fulfilled. And so the
Mm.
YouTube channel was born from, I really want to share this with people. I've almost been like, excuse the pun, bottling it up. And
Right.
and the watches, the fragrances, the travel, just like I'm just going to go for it. I'm not really any strategy. I'm going to have a go. And that is essentially what is driving me now, and I'm enjoying it. I don't know if it's the same for you or if it's the same for anyone else, but that was kind of my play.
'Cause it almost sounds like you already had the I want to find my people mentality.
I
Or
did.
was
I
it more?
definitely, I was striving connection, I think. I still am.
Right.
And I was in
Yep.
this remote world we live in, I was striving kind of, there is a hypothesis that I want to test that I'm going to find my bunch, my people that are into these
Right.
things, you know?
Right. Well, my journey was a little bit different in that my background is creating content for government, for corporates, and
Mm,
also for lifestyle brands. And I had never dreamt of creating a YouTube channel or anything of that nature. I was always happy to be the person behind and helping others create, and
yes.
bring their. So you would be a client of mine essentially
Yeah.
back in the day. Um,
Don't think I could afford
then
you, but that's another story.
no, no, no. We would work something out. It's
Yeah.
don't sweat it.
I'll pay
Um,
you in fragrances. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Or watches. I've seen your watch
Yes.
collection, and yeah, you can pay me watches. So what happened is that the COVID-19, and it's a word that we don't like saying, because the moment you say those words, you're like, "Bleh."
Yeah.
But anyway, here in Melbourne, we got hit really hard with lockdowns. I mean, we were like 8 months, 7, 8 months in
Mm.
lockdown. We had this really strong curfew. You couldn't go 5Ks away from your home, blah, blah, blah. I'm fortunate that my house is under the 5K from my office. So I would
Nice.
walk to my office every morning and
Mm.
come in here just to relieve my brain a little bit. Anyway,
Mm.
I've always been into perfumes, and I just didn't know what to do with myself and I would come to the office. Give you an idea, I would come to the office every day and try to find a way out. I always said that I felt like I was drowning in oil, and it was slowly sinking, but here
Yeah.
I am still trying to find a way to get myself up on the surface. And one day, purely out of desperation, I started to film perfume bottles.
Mm.
Um, and some bottles are quite unique in their design, and they're
Mm. Okay.
translucent as this one is.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to do a review because some of my friends might be interested in learning about my niche fragrances that I had. So I was already into niche perfumery. And I created like a review, put it out. It was like a Zoom party, but look at
Yeah.
my perfume. But I filmed it. I pre-filmed it, and I was answering comments in the
Mm.
chat box. Anyway, a friend of mine said, "Well, that was really good. You made me feel like I could actually smell that fragrance. You should do a
Mhm.
YouTube channel." And I
Yeah.
thought, I'm not interested in that. No one's going to watch it. Plus, I don't have designer fragrances. I only focus on niche, so no one's going to watch this. But I did another video because he intrigued me. So I did another video, did another lineup, and I put that out, and I had more people jump on that heard about the first one. And so they started to watch this. And again, I got a lot of people saying, "Wow, where do you buy these? Where do you get them from?" And I
Yeah.
thought, okay, I think I got something here.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that then I put it out onto YouTube just to see what happens. And it got some great views and some good
Yeah.
comments. I look back at that video now and I'm ashamed of it. I have to be honest with you. I never
Everyone
wanted
says
to,
that,
I
don't
haven't
they?
taken it down, so I haven't removed it. And I think history is important, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
rather than try to hide it, leave it there, warts and all. But yeah, I'd never, I think I watched it once in the last year, and
Yeah.
I was embarrassed. I stopped it. I'm like, I don't want to see that again. But that was the impetus that started the journey,
I
and
bet
here I
it's
am.
still getting views as well. I bet people are still going back and
I
seeing the
think it is.
traveling
Yeah,
on
I
it.
think it is. I think it was like Clive Christian. Actually, I should have put it in front of me because it's such a beautiful bottle, the Clive Christian
Yes.
it's an English brand
Mm.
with the crown on it and everything else. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And have you
Mm.
always loved fragrances? Is that a childhood love? Is it an adulthood love?
I discovered, and I didn't know this. I discovered probably when I was in my early 40s, believe it or not. And it
Mm.
was again a friend of mine who said, "You've got an incredible sense of smell." He's like, because I
Mm.
can't remember what happened, and he was getting me to smell things to distinguish between one and the other, and I was just doing it, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You got an incredible sense of smell," and I thought, actually, I do. I can really pick up things. So even prior to that, I was always into perfume, even as a child. And but since then, I'm like, and I started to explore it more to
Yeah.
sort of delve a little bit deeper. And now, sort of understanding this ability that I can sort of detect things and I can smell things from a distance.
Mm.
So yeah, so smell has always been a thing in my life. Yeah.
I love that. So if you think back sort of over the time you've recent past or in your life, what sort of give me a some of the journey, like you've been into niche, but where did it begin? And maybe pick out a couple of fragrances that have just sort of opened the doors to you, but have led you further, so to speak.
Right. All right. Well, just as you said that, the very first one, Old Spice,
Nice,
the
great choice.
the
Yeah,
classic.
that's it.
I was,
I love
you
that.
know, 5-year-old or 7-year-old, whatever it is. I mean, just to uh, young enough that so to remember that I was so young that I
Mm.
didn't know what it meant other than I love that smell. And I always tell the story on the channel that my father would hide his Old Spice from me and I
Yes.
would seek it out and just put it on. I used to love the little
Yeah.
plastic stopper and the dab and the boom boom. And I was just a little tacker. I mean, so
Yeah. Yeah.
and he would say to me, "Are you have you got my Old Spice?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" While
That's
this
great, isn't it?
beautiful scent cloud of Old Spice was all around me. So
Yeah.
that was so perfume from a young age. I was always, beautiful smells was my thing. The next, then after that, I got into, obviously as I got older, I started buying niche perfumer, designer fragrances and all the
Yeah.
rest of it. And it wasn't until 2017
Mm.
that, whilst doing a walking tour in Florence, the 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 host pointed to a church there called Santa Maria Novella, and near that is an apocryph. I can never say this word.
Apothecary. Yeah.
Apoc- say it again.
Apothecary. Yeah.
Boom. That.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, this was built by the monks in 2021 in 16 something or other. They created a fragrance for Caterina de' Medici when she became Queen of France. And I'm like, whoa, 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 hang on a second. Tell me more about this. And they created a perfume, and you can buy that perfume today. It's actually called Aqua della Regina. And that opened my brain up to niche perfumery. I didn't realize that this existed. This was like a
Mm.
subculture that I had no
Yes.
idea about. I thought perfumes were all done by designer brands, Dior, Chanel, yada yada.
Yeah.
And to discover that you have small batches, you have very artistic, in some cases, very avant-garde fragrances. Sometimes the creator will just do it for the expression of art, as opposed to, it's fashionable to have, I don't
Yeah.
know, a rose fragrance, and so they'll create rose.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's what got me into that world, and I gave away all my designer fragrances. So my
Did you?
family,
Yeah.
friends were all very excited. I
Yeah.
gave away all my designers and rebooted my collection with all things niche, and yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
2027, so way before the channel.
And so when you think that, what is it about niche, other than, they make distinctive fragrances, but there's a deeper love there, I'm sure, then that's fueling you.
I'm all about, and I know many people out feel the same way. There's a word in Italian called artigianale, which is artisanal. And that's what I'm all about. I want to know that someone created this, that this is something
Yes.
that it's a, rather than just it's a, and look, everything is created, don't get me wrong, but rather than done through a massive factory and it's pom 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 pom,
Yeah.
and the what designed that thing were data sheets that said, from that focus
Yes.
group, vanilla is in, so we need to do more. This is
Yeah, got
now
it.
something else. It's a creator who wants to
Yes.
express themselves, who wants to relive a memory, particularly in perfumery, who wants to capture something and convert that into an olfactory experience. That stuff. I mean, so that's in perfumery, but I do that across the board. So
Do you? Yeah. Yeah.
I love watches. I
Yeah.
love
We'll get to that.
jewelry. I mean, this
Yeah.
piece here. So all of these are small batch, handmade. In some cases you can't find them. You can't just walk into a department store
Yeah.
and get it. You have to go to specific locations. I love that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I share that with you. I think there's just a
I know
deep
you do.
love, isn't there? There's a
Mhm.
story behind it. There's a real
Right.
craftsmanship, and
Right.
it's like championing the design and the artist's message as opposed to
Right.
just we want to sell a load of units.
Correct. I mean, there are some brands that only make 500 units, period. And when that fragrance has finished, they discontinue that line. To me, that's mental because I'm thinking, whoa, what if it's a good seller?
Yeah.
But their expression is that they want to limit, they want to keep it as an exclusive item, So,
Nice. Yeah, it's crazy,
which
isn't it?
I think is pretty cool.
So bringing it forward to today, then, when we think about niche, what's for the viewers that are watching that may be into this or are getting into fragrances, what are
Yeah.
you reaching for and at the moment, what are you enjoying? And I say that, I caveat that because I I don't think I can answer the question of what's your favorite fragrance. I don't like asking that because there's so many. It's like giving up a child or something. It's like they're all beautiful for certain things. So I prefer
Right.
to ask the question of like, what are you reaching for at the moment? What are you enjoying right now? And maybe you can signpost us a little bit.
Perfect. All right. So let me, because you started to say something and that sort of piqued my thought, and I
Yes.
wanted to share it because I get one question that I do get asked is, um, so the question is, oh, so you don't like designer fragrances anymore? And that's not the case. Okay. So the difference is, so for me, a beautiful smell is a beautiful smell. So even if it's like, I don't know, do you guys have lynx in your country,
Mm.
in
Yeah.
Spain?
Yeah.
Okay,
Links.
so
Yeah.
lynx has a beautiful smell. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So a
It's a
beautiful
good
smell
point.
is a beautiful smell.
Mm.
The reason why I've delved into all things niche is primarily because I love either the creator behind it, I love the ethos of the house and what their intentions are. So I go back to that artigianale. It's about the creator, you see.
Yes.
So that's where so yeah,
Yeah.
so a beautiful smell is a beautiful
I
smell.
hear you.
And I'm not in any way a snob. So I'm not, I don't say, oh, I don't do designers, or I don't like designers. No, Eau Sauvage is an awesome fragrance, is a
Yeah.
sensational fragrance. I just don't have it because it's not one for me, basically, you see, but it's
Yeah. I
still a
hear you.
beautiful fragrance.
I hear you. No, I totally get that.
Okay, so some recommendations.
Yeah.
Now, I actually thought of your audience and knowing that, assuming that your audience is in the Northern Hemisphere, and right now you
Yes.
guys are about to walk into summer. So I've
Mm.
got 4 fragrances here that I thought would be great for summer, and they're varied in that uh, if certain individuals like certain particular notes, whether it be aromatic or fruity, etc., then there's something for everybody here. What
I
would you
have to
like?
say I'm excited right now. I'm looking forward to these picks. I can't wait.
Okay.
So I'm just going to hand
Okay.
it over to you.
Well, actually, before I begin, what's one question that I also get asked is, so what's your thoughts on fragrance and gender?
Mm, mm,
So marketing, so if you go into a department store, there'll be a counter of
yeah.
fragrances for women and then a counter with
Yes.
fragrances for men. What are your thoughts in that regards?
That's a good question. So, and there's a couple of ways to that I think about that. Undeniably, what you've said is true. Like there are male marketed fragrances and female marketed fragrances.
Right.
And what that tells me is that most, I can only speak for men right now, most men probably want to feel that they're buying a more masculine orientated fragrance. Otherwise, they wouldn't
Right.
market like that.
Right.
In actual fact, for me, I don't really care at all. It's about, as you said in your previous point, a great smell is a great smell. If I like that smell, then it's for me. I don't care who it's intended to be for.
Right.
Generally speaking, though, I won't go with it, or they don't appeal to me, the overly florally, quote unquote, feminine fragrances. And
Sure.
generally, most of my collection will lean slightly more masculine, I would say. So, long story short, I don't care. You buy what you love, but
Yep.
generally, I'll end up buying slightly more masculine things, I think.
So when you say masculine, how would you define that? What does a masculine fragrance or what? What is some
Well,
of its?
so I'd actually flip that the other way. I would say what it is not,
Right,
and it's probably not heavily floral,
right,
and probably not overly sweet and gourmand. So not always, not as definitive that, but I don't think I've got any fragrances that I would describe as like really heavily sweet florals. And that kind
got
of
it.
corner, I know you share the fragrance wheel. That sort of corner at this point in my journey is probably
Yep.
not where I'd spend my money.
Yep, yep. I
Yeah.
love it, and I'm so happy the ones that I selected. And it's funny, I
Like,
was
yes, I got
thinking
it
of
right.
you because we've met, and I've already got. I guess I mean we met once in person. Can I just point out, Brendan is a super champion. The night before the tour began, we bumped into each other. Actually, we bumped into each other while I bought this watch.
Watches. Yeah. Yeah.
We were
Unimatic.
in
We'll get to that. I love that.
yeah, which is a boutique that's only found in Milan, that I believe. I could be wrong, but this
Yeah.
one here is definitely in Milan. And we were chatting, and you helped me with all that grocery. Remember that?
I
I
do.
had
I do.
all these things that I had to buy, and afterwards I'm like, how did I think I was going to do this on my own? So you were awesome. I appreciate. Anyway,
I'm quite
I had a
handy at
chance to
manual
connect.
labor. That's a positive of mine.
It was great. It was great because with your help, I was able to sort of cover a lot more ground a lot faster. All right. So thinking of you in this lineup here and what you just shared, I'm actually happy that I selected the ones that I did. So
Nice.
let's start with where you are or how you just explained things. And that is a masculine fragrance needs to have um, well, how did you say it needs to be? Oh, not so sweet and not so floral. So let me go the other way. So therefore, it should have aromatics. It should have
Yeah.
some wood elements to it, some woodiness about it, and it needs to have a certain level of freshness and like think Old
Mm.
Spice. Think of Eau Sauvage with those
Yeah.
beautiful woods, and can have some ambry, but it can never go too sweet or
Mm.
too florally because now as our men brain thinks that we are now moving into more of a feminine
Yeah.
territory. Okay. Let me just quash something, okay? And that is, in your opinion, if I look at the different styles of pasta that's available to us, whether it's fettuccine, spaghetti, bow tie,
Mm.
etc., tubes, which one do you feel is more masculine and which one is more feminine?
Well, that's a really good question. I've never thought of pasta in that
It's
way.
a trick question, bro.
I know. I think they're all the same. Like, I
It's
can give you my
pasta.
favorites, but I don't think that's going to give you much.
It's pasta.
Yeah, it's pasta.
So like pasta, you choose what you like. For nice spaghetti bolognese, I love spaghetti. A spaghetti. I don't put like the
Yes.
tube pasta or fettuccine. It's too fat. I like the nice thin. That works perfectly with the spaghetti bolognese. So
Yeah.
it's now a personal preference. And the reason and what I'm saying there is scent, smell is a personal thing. To
Yeah.
say that if it has too many florals, I mean, I wear rose fragrances and I
Yeah.
smell
Likewise.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not saying this on my own, like my own delusion. When I go to an event, if I wear a beautiful floral fragrance, not soft floral, so that it has some more, so like a floral amber on that
Yeah.
wheel.
Yeah.
If I wear a floral, it smells amazing on a man's skin, and I get a lot of compliments. A lot of people are like, "What are you
Yes.
wearing? What is that?" And it's almost like it takes them by surprise to smell a rose on a man. Okay.
Yes.
So anyway,
Yeah.
so the following here, there's a bit of a mixture here. First one is a classic gentleman's fragrance, which is Gentle Fluidity Silver. And this one here has those elements that you mentioned that are in those classic men
Yes.
fragrances, which is aromatic, it's woody, it has some herbal spiciness in there, so there's coriander and things of that nature. This is effervescent, it's fresh, it stays on skin. It definitely uh, signifies a very confident man. So if you
Mm.
have got a big meeting or something that you really know you're gonna need that extra sort of oomph to to give you that spring in your step, then this is MFK's Gentle Fluidity Silver.
Love
It's a
that.
classic, and it's a classic gentleman's fragrance. Okay.
Would you say you can wear that? Is that an all day, all occasion fragrance, would you say?
This is my summer fragrance. So I
Yeah.
love it. Doesn't work so well in winter. I find that it's a little bit too effervescent, too
Mm.
bright for a winter landscape. I'll show you one that I'm wearing now for winter and can also work well in summer.
Mhm. Mm.
Um, this one here is a great day fragrance.
Yeah.
Into night, I like to wear something a little bit more ambery into night, a
Yes.
little bit with something that may have like a vanilla or some amber notes. It's sort of a bit
Yeah.
warmer on skin, especially in the night air. It actually works really, really well.
Yeah, I love that. Nice. Good first pick.
All right, so that one there, that would be your day, and then you could transition this one into night, which is a new one from Javoy, beautiful French house. It's
Mm.
Aqua Memorabolis, and this one
Right.
here now uses like a mandarin, tangerine, sweet citrus note, but then with this amber, it does have a floral, and that is iris. But the iris
Nice.
is giving it a gentle powderiness to the fragrance. So you're not getting that classic female,
Yes.
floral fragrance, but there's a beautiful blend. There's quite a lot happening in this particular fragrance. My
Mm.
26-year-old son, who's a masculine man, uh, loves this fragrance. He's a big, strong boy, rides motorbikes. He's a bloke. In Australia, we call him a bloke. He's a blokey bloke.
Lucky. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is the fragrance he loves to wear, whether as a going out or over summertime. So this one
Nice.
here, if you want to sort of go a little bit more into new territory, I'd recommend this one to you.
I really need to get into Javoy. I've been in the store multiple times, but their actual own range, the bottles are beautiful. They just look so well crafted, don't they?
The other thing too is that the value for money is
Yeah.
exceptional. Actually, can you see that there's something written on there? Can you see that?
I can, but I can't actually read it.
It's the France Fragrance Tour 2024.
Ah,
So that was
signed bottle. I
we
love
have
that.
the other touring company, the KM Fragrance Tours,
Yeah.
and Javoy have always been a partner on that, have always been supporting us. So
You see,
anyway,
you know you're in
Javoy's
the
great.
presence of greatness when you've got somebody with signed fragrance bottles on the channel. Come on, guys, let's
That's
give
right.
Marcelo some love here.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Now, so that one is a little bit more masculine. There is like a dual version of this called Gold, Gentle Fluidity Gold, and that has some vanillas and ambers, can be more feminine leaning. This is comfortably a masculine or feminine fragrance. This too is comfortably a masculine or feminine fragrance. This is Matia Premier. It's a French house. Aurélien Guichard is the perfumer. And this right now for your summer is called Parisian Musk, is just gorgeous. It has a fig musky note to it. So you get a very gentle fig note, but it has this wonderful powdery musk feel to the fragrance.
Beautiful.
This is carefree and summertime and great as an office scent. It's very pleasing. There's a sense of warmth and comfort because of the fragrance. Great as a going out. If you're meeting someone for the first time, Parisian Musk has great presence and projects beautifully, stays on skin for quite a number of hours. A big, big recommendation. The
Yeah.
reason why I love this house so much, Matière Première, the perfumer, he is always looking for unique ways on bringing bringing a perfume to life. So a lot of time he actually just wants to grab a central idea or theme. In this case here, he mentioned that he loves the air in Paris. He feels that it has a like a lightness to it. Like you can like think of a white curtain and light streaming through it, the shimmeriness about it. And he
Yeah.
wanted to translate that into a fragrance. And so it has an ethereal feeling to it. It's not a heavy fragrance. There is a lightness to it. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's absolutely
Yeah, I
gorgeous.
love
Yeah.
that. Sounds
And
amazing.
comfortably man or woman.
Mm.
And the last one And this moves completely away from you, Brendan,
Yep.
but I'd recommend it
That's
to you.
cool.
So this is now, you mentioned before about, something that's too floral or too sweet. This has a little bit of both. So this is called Wilop. It's a word that's said in reverse. Poly is the name of the fragrance, and polyamorous is the full name. And it's about being in love with more than one person. And it's about, so the fragrance is designed to be uh, something that when people draw close to you, they fall in love with you. That's the intention of it. Opens with
Nice.
a beautiful, yeah, honestly, this is like,
Yeah.
there's a longer story. Have a look on my channel. I'm not going to,
Yeah.
because I don't
I'll
want to
share
take
the link
too
to
much
that.
more of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have a look at the story behind this, the creator. There's a beautiful story behind the creation. Why is it called Wilop? You know, and also the word poly. What does all that mean?
Yeah.
Um, the fragrance has this beautiful apricot, opens with this beautiful apricot, but it's actually osmanthus. So there's a floral note in nature that is quite a chameleon. So osmanthus can have a sort of an apricot fruity touch to it, but it can also be a little bit on that grassy green side, but it also can be quite animalic and very heavy. And so the perfumer can actually dial it in different ways to create a different nuance with this one note. It
What's
does
the
have
brand
like,
name?
this is Soradora.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. I've spoken quite a lot about this house. I really, really like this brand. And Wilop, because of the musk and skin touch on the base, on me, it smells completely different as it does on my wife. So my wife wears this fragrance, I wear this fragrance, and when the fragrance dries down, it has a different
Love that.
feeling to it. So, but
They
all
are. Eh?
four of these, perfect for
Yeah.
summer. For your summer, test
Nice.
them. You'll be impressed at how beautiful they'll play
I'm, I'm
in that
gonna
summer.
I'm gonna get my nose on the Wylop for sure. I
Please,
like to be challenged in that way, so to speak.
please.
So
You may put it on and you'll think to yourself, "Oh, this is not for me." But just forget that. Just forget
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Put it aside. Just wear it with confidence, and see
Mm.
what those around you feel about the fragrance. You'll be
Yeah.
surprised. Well, yeah, I'll be interested to hear. I'll be interested to
Yeah.
hear what
Yeah.
your wife thinks as you walk around the house, and she'll be like, "Is that you? Is that you know?"
Yeah.
So,
Love it. Nice. All right. Well, I've got two more questions for you. We might have to
yes, sir.
move quickly on this because I know that we're limited for time a little bit, but let's just quickly talk watches because
Okay.
I clocked in one of your very, very early videos that I saw that you were rocking the Panerai. Great watch brand. Really
I
enjoyed
love
that
Panerai.
myself. But you mentioned the Unimatic, which is a lovely micro brand and really
Yes.
affordable as well from Italy.
Yes.
Give us your watch story. Give us a couple of your favorites in the collection, so to speak.
The watch story goes back to my youth again. So as a young kid, I got, and I regret that I never kept it. I don't know where it is, a Mickey Mouse watch. And I still remember this
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse watch with his hands. Man, I love that watch. But I lost it. I broke it. I don't know what happened to it. And now it would be worth $1 million because it was an actual legitimate Mickey Mouse watch.
Wow.
Um,
That's crazy.
but yeah, so just I don't know what it is about watches. There's something, and I actually know I do know. It's again going back to that artigianale, that the artisanal, the Panerai that I have has a clear case back, and I love looking
Yes.
at the mechanics of it. I can
Mechanism.
never get bored of this. I can never get bored. It is a dial, so it's not an automatic, and so you
Yeah.
get to
Manual.
see the rubies, and you get to see just the whole mechanics behind this. I love the fact that it's again, I go back, it's not a cha-boom, cha-boom, cha-boom. It's, some machine
Yeah.
punching this thing out, that there is somebody in there doing this work and creating this beautiful piece of art, that I'm now wearing, and
Yeah.
look, my wife tells me off, she goes, well, it just tells the time, and it's true, it just tells the time. But like fragrance, when I look at it, it makes me happy. And I don't
Yeah.
know, there's this, I think I love to see this beauty that's on my wrist, or what I can
Yes.
smell in the, there's, it's just the appreciation of that beauty. I mean, I know it sounds a bit, some people are like, whatever, but we all love what we love. I've said this a few
Yeah.
times because
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
all love what we love. you know?
We do, and you don't buy a watch to tell the time, right? That is it.
No,
Like you buy a watch to tell a story, maybe. You buy a watch for the craftsmanship, the time in your life, perhaps.
correct,
Everyone's
correct,
different, aren't they?
correct, correct.
Love that. And last
Absolutely.
question, you're creating these amazing experiences, such as the tour that I went on in Essence in
Yeah.
Milan. You've got more coming up through the year. Just talk to me about that. What's coming up, and then how we can find out a little bit more.
Okay. So KM Fragrance Tours is the name of the business. That's the name of the actual website also. So if you type in KM Fragrance
.com.
Tours, com.
Yeah.
You'll see it comes up. The mission behind that and how that was birthed is I've always been a traveler, so that's another part of the
Yeah.
experiencing the beauty that's around you. And I've never been a traveler to move quickly through things. People come to me and they say, "Look, I want to travel to Europe." Aussies love to go to Europe, but then they do like 10 countries in 7 days.
Mm.
And I'm like, you're crazy. Just pick two countries that you really want to visit, and your whole time is 5 days on one, 5 days in the other, and that's it. Don't be hopping all around the place.
Yeah.
So on one of the tours that I did early on the channel, I was sort of posting and showing people what I was up to, and again, 9 days in Paris, and people think I'm crazy, but I just like to slow it right down. And a few comments came through saying, "I wish I could follow you or join you on these adventures that you go on." And that was the impetus for
Yeah.
the thought. And what if we created these tours and showed people what we get up to, and also
Yeah.
create, because we've being in the in this world now with the perfumers and their appreciation for their art, they're opening their doors to us and showing us things that they normally wouldn't showcase. There's a perfumer called Mel. He's a very private man.
Mm.
Originally, he showed me he calls it his temple. That's his atelier. That's where he creates, and that's where all these oils are, and that's where he thinks. And he said to him, his temple is a private place that he allows nobody. I got to know him quite well, and he said, "All right, come and film in my temple," which was always my mission. I was always trying to, I
Yeah.
always,
Practice.
I'll take, yeah, yeah. So, and now I got to become good friends. We filmed in the temple. And so this is what we want to show other people. Actually, Mail is part of the upcoming tour in September, and we are going to his temple. So this is the first time that he's now allowing other people to come in and to experience. We've got an incredible day planned with him. I mean, I don't want to steal it away from the guests who are joining us, so keeping that a bit of a surprise. But we've got a really exciting day planned with Mel Fushuni, and then all the others that we're doing. So it's really about bringing to life this beautiful world of perfume creation and slowing things down, enjoying travel, things of that nature.
I love that. It does look a really, really amazing 9 days, I think it is, isn't it? That
It
you're
is 9 days. Yep.
people on a full journey of Italy this year. I know you've done
Yeah.
France. I keep twisting your arm to do Spain. There's
I
lots
want to do
there.
Spain. Trust me, Spain is on my radar.
Yeah,
So I've been to Spain before, and there's some really incredible Spanish perfumers that are coming through. There's
absolutely.
great renaissance happening within Spain right now. So
Yes.
yeah, no, Spain is definitely on my radar. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love that. All right. Well, look, really appreciate your time, Marcelo. Great to see you again. And
Likewise.
you've shared 4 summer fragrances. You know what that means, right? You're gonna have to come on every season now to do an update. I'm just gonna put
I'm
that
in.
out there straight
I'm
away.
in. Honestly, I'm in. I'm in. I don't have a problem. I mean, you can see. So I'm very conscious and I appreciate you gave me some of the air time, but I am conscious that I'm doing the talking. I prefer to have a conversation with you, but you asked me the question. I was only sharing, so I'm
It's
I'm
all good.
happy. Every
People get
season we'll
enough
do
of
a
me
new one.
talking on this channel. It's nice to get other faces and
Fair enough.
voices in as well.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, good to see you as always.
Thank you.
Thanks again for watching, everybody. And make sure you check out Marcelo's work over at the Niche Fragrance Collector channel. I'll put the link in the description. kmfragrancetours.com as well. Great work too. And Marcelo, I'll see you again soon. And thanks again, everyone.
Thanks, mate. See you, Brendan.